Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Real or Rumor. And Cheryl, it's been kind of a crazy weekend. Of course, by the time this airs, that weekend will be in the past. But we had some really kind of interesting weather that came through over the weekend when the kids were out playing soccer and all of that.
We live in the same city, but Amy had different weather where she was than I had where I was.
Well, everybody kind of experiences that in Greeley, I think, every once in a while, where one side of town, if you want to split it east-west or north-south, we'll get kind of this weird weather. You say, well, we didn't get anything. Right. Well, of course, we were discussing hail, the hail that came through, and we were at a soccer game, Bridger's soccer game, and that we're kind of watching these clouds in the distance, and eventually it did just unfold and start dropping hail on us, and of course everybody ran. And I was telling Cheryl at the end of it, the conversation was that everybody, the people who got to the rotunda area, the pavilion first, were all there taking pictures of everyone. I don't know if they were waiting for something to happen, somebody to fall down, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
It's the craziest
all
thing.
The high-tech equipment.
That's right, that's right.
Anything.
But all in all, it was a really good reminder about just making sure that you're aware of the weather.
And to be prepared.
Being prepared.
With you having 3 kids playing soccer on the weekends, did you have like 3 different weather patterns for each game?
You know,
did each child have a different weather?
Every kid had a completely different weather. You know, Chase's game, which was in the morning, nice and cool, not even a breeze blowing, so it was great. And Laney's was sunny. Actually, I got a little sunburn. I don't know if you can notice the red. And then by Bridger's, you know, we were getting hailed on, so Colorado weather. So it's a good reminder just to make sure that you're prepared for anything.
All in one day.
That's right. All in one day within a few hours. So, yeah, it was a good weekend.
Well, speaking of being prepared for weather, you'll have to do that as we talk about this next topic.
Oh, okay.
Our rumor for today is that Greeley is not a bicycle-friendly community.
Oh,
and obviously when you're out biking, you need to be prepared for
right.
weather.
I wondered where you were going with that.
Trying to connect the host chat with the topic.
Oh, you're so good. That was really good.
So I know you did some research on this topic, and I'm wondering what you can tell us about it.
This is definitely a rumor. Greeley is becoming, or you know, it's just been kind of a process, but is so much a bicycle-friendly community, and they're working really hard at that to make it even more so.
Right.
And so, you know, it's just one of those things where you just kind of have to open your eyes and you'll see it. It's been growing in our community. The Traffic Engineering Division of the City of Greeley, they're the ones that kind of look at the streets and evaluate. There's some famous ones out there, if you will, that folks have seen, such as 13th Street, which gave everyone a kind of a 3-mile corridor running east and west. Put that road on a diet. We've talked about the road diet before. So now you have these wonderful lanes, and it's all new and paved, and so they're doing that more and more out on the roads. 14th Avenue, I believe, they did the same thing. So lots of opportunities out there for folks, including the Poudre River Trail and those areas that have existed for a while. But one of the things that division is looking at is they take a 5E approach.
5 E's.
5E.
Okay.
Not 5E, but 5E.
5E.
Like the letter E. 5E.
Okay.
So the first of the 5 E's is engineering, which is where engineering guys come in. And of course, that has to do with those roads and evaluating traffic flows and where it would be safe to put in bike lanes. And one of the things that's really exciting is now when they're looking at projects, they're starting to take into account people on bicycles.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like they're considering that factor with all the projects, just in the planning phases.
And
so
I think you know, we have to do that more and more because people are starting to look at bicycling as a much more viable form of transportation. Now, when you're sitting there talking about bad weather, it's maybe not as interesting, but there's a ways around it. You know, it's just that preparation side of it. So that's our first E, which is the engineering. Our second E is education.
Oh, okay.
Of course, that's you know, it's one of those things that I think we all just say, I can ride a bike. I get on my bike and I go. But there is some education to that. It obviously has to do with road rules and being safe, wearing your helmet, those kinds of things. So just educating people to make sure that everybody's
doing this how? Is there a website?
There is a website. Very good. There is called GreeleyBikes.com.
Okay.
And this is a relatively new website, but lots of information on there about how to ride safely, taking care of your bike.
Bike routes.
Bike routes. There's this wonderful bike map map that shows you where all our wonderful little biking roads are at. And then there's also some videos on there about just, you know, biking tips in general, and getting your family involved, all ages, older, younger, and most importantly, events. Lots of events out there. And that takes us into our third E, which is encouragement.
Right.
Trying to encourage people to get out there and do this. June actually is a perfect month for that encouragement, because June is Bike Month.
Yes.
And it's also Bike to Work Day. I can't remember what this year's date is. June.
I'm not
somewhere
sure
in
the
June.
exact date
Make
either.
sure you find out. But it's a good opportunity to just kind of go out there. The weather's nice, so no excuses. But we can get out there, and so there's that encouragement piece of it. And there's going to be more and more biking events that are happening. So make sure you go to that GreeleyBikes.com website to see
keep
those.
up on that, sure.
The fourth E. It's almost as good as fifth.
Fourthly. What is that fourth E?
Is enforcement.
Okay.
And this is really pretty key, because this has to do with enforcing, you know, making sure that there's equitable laws and programs that make sure motorists and cyclists are being safe and accountable.
Yeah, and I understand that staff's working really closely, not only with CDOT, the Colorado Department of Transportation, but with the police department, just to make sure that that's happening.
That's right, that's right.
So,
you know, as a comment that I've heard out there, you can get a speeding ticket on a bike. Believe it or not, it can happen. But you know, even as a bike rider, you still have to follow the rules of the road.
Right.
And so making sure that that's being enforced. Because, you know, if you're a motorist and you're seeing a bicyclist getting away with something you'd never get away with, that's a little frustrating.
Right.
And that can add tension between motorists and bicyclists, which we don't want on the road. You don't want that tension. You want everybody happy.
Right.
So that's our fourth E. So we've done what? Engineering, education, encouragement, enforcement, and last but not least, evaluation.
I knew it started with an E.
That's right. You're so smart.
I know.
I'm telling you, she's so smart.
Nothing gets by me.
I know. So of course, evaluation is going back, and the traffic engineering guys are checking things, and they're beginning to do bike counts. They're seeing how much bike traffic is out there, and if they need to increase bike lanes.
Just want to be able to see what the usage in the community is like.
That's right. And
Good.
hopefully,
Very good.
if they see an increase in usage, then that just means that many more bike lanes for us. So
Very nice.
It's a very
Well,
good thing.
I understand all of these efforts by staff in the city have really brought several recognitions our way, which is very exciting. I know I was at City Council just recently, and the engineering staff actually got an environmental stewardship award.
That's right.
So that was very exciting. What else?
It's exciting.
are
And
they
then one
receiving?
then there's one that we're really giddy. I think I can say giddy about, which is a bronze level bicycle friendly community award designation through the League of American Bicyclists. Now this is a national designation, so this is great news. Out of Washington, D.C., we had to submit and do an application for that, and they evaluated the city, and there's all these different criteria that had to be met.
And
we're at a bronze level.
Such a big deal, too, considering that we haven't really been focusing energies in this area that long. I mean, it's been in the last several years.
Exactly.
So certainly something for the staff to be proud of.
Yep, and this is a designation that we can kind of go back through and reapply and go for higher levels. It goes from bronze to platinum, I believe. So there's things to shoot for and things that we can look forward to, because the engineering guys are definitely trying to make bicycling an important part of Greeley life.
They've really taken the bike by the handlebars, haven't they? They really have.
They have.
I mean, it's just nice to see that.
Yeah, it'll be a good thing. It's good for health, good for the community, and but just remember, as motorists, to make sure if you see a bicyclist that you're being safe around them.
Right.
We don't want to have any accidents. Been too many of those lately. So
very nice to have some alternative transportation.
Exactly.
Out there.
So we're going to make Greeley the first-class biking community.
Very good. Well, excellent information. Certainly visit that website and call city staff if you have questions. That is going to do it for this edition of Real or Rumor. We want to remind you, as always, you can check out repeat editions on YouTube, on GTV8. And until next time, I'm Cheryl Aragon.
And I'm Amy Freeland. We'll see you then.